Colorado might look like a rectangle on a map, but it's not. In fact, Colorado has 697 sides, making it a, wait for it, hexahectennia heptagon. So, how does a state that's supposed to have 4 sides end up with 697 sides? Let's break it down. When Colorado's borders were drawn in 1861, the U.S. Congress determined Colorado should fall between 37 and 41 degrees north of the equator and 25 and 32 degrees west from Washington, D.C. In theory, that should make a perfect rectangle. But then surveyors were given the task of establishing physical boundary markers along the 1,300 miles that would make up the borders of Colorado. And that's a lot easier said than done. At that time, surveyors did the best they could with the limited tools they had compared to today's technology. They marked borders based on latitude and longitude, but with the Earth's curvature and the limitations of their instruments, the borders ended up with slight deviations. They didn't have the advanced GPS technology we use today. Instead, they relied on tools like theodolites, chains, and compasses. Imagine trying to measure straight lines and precise angles across vast and rugged terrains with these limited tools. Theodolites were used to measure horizontal and vertical angles, while chains, usually 66 feet long, were used to measure distances. Surveyors would painstakingly measure these distances, often dealing with obstacles like mountains, rivers, and dense forests. The process was slow and labor-intensive. Surveyors had to set up theodolites on tripods, carefully align them, and then take readings. They also had to ensure their measurements were as accurate as possible, despite the limitations of their equipment. This was no easy task, especially considering the challenging landscapes they worked in. When these borders were plotted precisely on a map, they didn't form perfect straight lines. Instead, they ended up with slight deviations, creating a shape with 697 sides instead of 4. Even though Colorado was supposed to have just 4 sides, nobody has bothered to go back and change the lines they established.